Welcome back to J Street Ramblings. I'm Brandon. In this channel, you get to listen to me ramble about things that hopefully you'll find interesting. In my last video, I mentioned this video would probably be about a pistol, which in case it is. Wanted to share with you all the Palmetto State Armory Dagger, and we also have the Taurus G2C subcompact. So first of all, let's start out. Let's pull mags out. See, we got an empty mag with the yellow follower here. Nothing in the gun. Inspect the chamber. We're clear on the Taurus. And let's do the same with the Palmetto State Armory Dagger. So you can see the follower there. Nothing inside there, and an empty chamber. So we are safe to talk about these two firearms. So why, and before we get started here, I want to take a note out of one of my favorite gun YouTubers, Playbook, I suppose. Grand Thumb, if you're not familiar, check him out. It's pretty cool. And we'll take a moment to go ahead and thank our channel sponsors. Okay. All right. I don't know. I thought that would be funny. And then he goes into what are his relationships with the manufacturers of the firearms he reviews. So in turn, I will go ahead and share that my relationship with these two companies is pretty unbiased. I sent them money in exchange for these firearms. So with that out of the way, let's go ahead and proceed forward. And why the Dagger versus the G2C? And I guess that's a little misleading. I didn't mean to do a true versus video. Which one's better, which one's worse? It's more so what led me to purchase the Dagger. And that was because I did have the G2C first. It is my carry pistol. It's been a pretty solid pistol. I've had no issues with it. Most would consider this a budget gun. Some of you wouldn't touch it with a 10-foot pole, and that's perfectly fine. Everybody's budget is relative to their own personal financial situation, so be it. But I've had this guy for probably a couple years now and was looking to get something a little bit larger. The Dagger caught my attention. I watch enough YouTube videos where I've seen some people talking about this guy in not this past SHOT Show, but the previous SHOT Show, where Palmetto State Armory was talking about releasing their very first pistol. This would be their very first in-house pistol. It is essentially a Gen 3 Glock 19 clone. So that means most of the internals are compatible with the Gen 3 Glock 19. And you can find out, there's a ton more information about that and about a lot of custom builds guys are doing with this particular firearm. It's not Palmetto State Armory's Facebook page, but there is a Dagger page on Facebook for this particular pistol that goes into, I guess, a lot of the compatibility factor. So one thing in speaking to compatibility is that it does take Glock mags. It actually came with this PMag, which is a Glock 19 PMag. So just really the only thing that I can portray to Glock compatibility as of right now. But again, more about what led me to this while owning this. And that's kind of why I thought about doing the video too, is because this is what I had at the time, and nobody else really had a side-by-side comparison. So maybe somebody that currently has a G2C and is looking at the Dagger, maybe this will help you out a little bit. What drew me to the Dagger per se versus just stepping up from a G2C to the G3. And that really was that uh, Glock clone factor and the ability to have more access to a broader range of aftermarket parts to be able to customize this. Now, at this point, this is pretty much bone stock, except for the addition of the flashlight, which at this point, this essentially serves as a nightstand gun for me. But the selling points or things that kind of appealed to me versus the G3C was metal sights, front and rear, and it does come straight from Palmetto State Armory with a stainless steel guide rod. The Taurus, now this is specific to the G2C. This would have been fixed with a G3C or a G3, and I say fixed, there's nothing really wrong with it, but fixed for my preference. The Taurus, again, we are clear here, nothing fell into there over the last few seconds, but has a trigger safety here, like the little trigger dingus here, that's in more of a blade, and it doesn't go completely flush with the trigger. That blade still sticks out just a little bit when you are pressing that trigger. And I don't think it really hasn't been too big of a deal. It's just not the most comfortable trigger that I have found. It works fine, but just for comfort, I did prefer the flat face. And that's what the Dagger does offer. Excuse me. It is a hinge trigger similar to the M&P series, but again, flat face, and I do kind of like that as far as the trigger goes. So yeah, as far as a side-by-side comparison, let's see here. I do have, and I hope we're still in frame here. I hope I didn't lose you, but I do have specs. As far as side-by-side goes, overall length on the Dagger is 7.15 inches, where the G2C is 6.3 inches. And I'll see if I can kind of demonstrate that a little bit. You can see kind of the difference there in size. And overall height, and I pulled these numbers off the manufacturer website. Overall height, the G2C was supposed, unless I typed it wrong, the G2C said it was 5.1 inches and the Dagger was 4.78 inches. Overall height, that is getting, they're almost dead even from that perspective until you throw in, again, the empty mags here with the P-mag. The base plate is a little bit taller, and the Taurus mag, again, there's not a whole lot of difference there, but I just thought it was weird they said the Taurus was taller when it really isn't. Capacity-wise, the G2C 12+1, the Dagger 15+1. Of course, you can run any extended Glock mag, so you've got more options there. I believe you can put don't quote me, but I think you can put a G3 mag in here, which you can get up to 17 round. And I'm sure there's probably a few aftermarket mags that you can go even more capacity than that. But again, I feel like there's a ton more options out there for a Glock platform. Let's see here. Again, the steel sights was a draw point to me. I did watch another YouTube video where somebody was, just putting this thing through its paces, and they would rack the slide against the sights as if, you were injured and didn't have a free hand to rack the slide, and they would rack it against a wooden 4x4, and being polymer, they did get beat up pretty bad. Do I ever picture myself in that scenario? No, but steel sights just sounded pretty good. Uh, so what else do I want to share about the Dagger? The grip profile, I guess we'll call it. The G2C is pretty much just a flat from side to side grip. It does maybe flare up just a little bit down at the base of the grip. Um, Pretty comfortable in the hand yet, but I would say the Dagger is a little bit more comfortable. The uh, base of the Dagger has a little bit more of a swell to it. And another thing that I'll share or mention here is this knuckle. I know the Gen 5 Glocks remove all knuckles. This has one with a little bit of an undercut under the trigger, and then the base of the mag well is flared a little bit on the front here. So what does all that mean is if you have a bigger hand, I've heard some other reviews that say that this is not very comfortable. My hand is not really too terribly large, so it fits me pretty well. With that finger groove there and the little bit of a flare at the bottom, doesn't bother me. I guess if my hand was bigger and rubbing against that edge, it might be cumbersome. Or if my finger was bigger and riding over the point of that knuckle, that probably wouldn't be too comfortable. So just some things, some observations there from some other reviewers. Another thing you'll notice about the Dagger is the cutouts at the bottom of the mag well is supposed to be for ease of stripping the mag. Some people, you know, if you needed to strip it out, some people have not been too big of fans of that, but again, not really an issue for me. I don't mind it at all. I actually kind of like the look, so I'm perfectly happy with that. What else did we want to share about the Dagger today here? Again, that Facebook page has a lot of good information. Early models, I believe this is completely resolved now, but being, you know, the first in-house production gun, there were a couple of issues that seemed to have come up right away. I really haven't experienced many issues, I would say. One of them was a walking trigger pin. Some owners reported that the trigger pin would walk out on them, and I believe that has since been fixed. Can't remember exactly what was causing that to speak to it, but I do remember reading about it on that page. Lots of good information there. One other issue that did impact me that PSA was awesome about fixing or rectifying right away was some of their early barrels. The rifling wasn't the best on some of the initial barrels that went out. I was able to get in touch with PSA via email and get a new barrel shipped out right away, and that's in there now. So, and that's a huge improvement. Let's see, what else? I think for the most part we have pretty well covered it. I know I've mentioned metal sights multiple times. They are just the basic 3-dot. I know they have night sight configurations, and you know, with Glock compatibility, you can throw really just about anything on there. I know PSA now offers an optics cut slide. You know, at some point I might look at just picking up and I believe with an optic they have as an option. Might pick one of those up in the future, we'll see. But again, overall, in general, just wanted to give a quick comparison between the G2C and the Dagger, because that's what the position I was in when I was first considering purchasing the Dagger. I think it was a pretty solid investment overall. I've only got maybe 250 rounds through this guy so far, but like I say, not a hiccup. This guy probably 300 to 400 rounds, and really no issues there. So, you know, I'm not one of those huge, that's all I do is get out and shoot. That would be a great job. I'm envious of anybody that can shoot full time. Pretty awesome, maybe someday, but definitely not today. So relatively low round counts on those, and you could say maybe that's why I haven't had any issues, but I don't know. So I think that pretty well wraps us up for today. I might be back with another comparison, because why didn't we go, you know, maybe more, and I touched on a little bit, G3C instead of Dagger. I have access to a G3C, so that might be one of the next videos we do. We'll look to get some range time with those guys and share a video report of that, and maybe branch out of firearms just a little bit, because before I can get to the range, I need some new target stands, and I think I'm going to DIY those, and might bring you along to show you how to put together some quick, easy DIY target stands. But that's all I have for you today. Thank you so much for watching. You guys have a great rest of your day or evening. Thank you.